If you even cared, you'd actually be here.
What if we told you there's still a chance we could see Zendaya as She-Venom or Tom Holland's Spider-Man rocking the symbiote suit? Now, it might sound wild, but stick with us. We've got some solid facts to back it up. So without further ado, let's dive into everything we know about Spider-Man 4, King and Queen in Black, and a possible storyline. After Venom made his live-action debut in Spider-Man 3, Sony spent years trying to get a solo film for the character. Finally, in 2018, Venom, starring Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, became a surprise hit and led to a solo trilogy. While Venom's had plenty of solo comics and even his own universe now, he's always had ties to Spider-Man. Sony's Venom trilogy, however, keeps the web-slinger mostly out of the picture, focusing instead on villains like Carnage. Venom: The Last Dance wraps up the trilogy, but Hardy has hinted that there could still be a chance for Venom to face off with Spider-Man in the future. Though the Venom films have mostly been set in San Francisco, the Bay Area setting draws inspiration from the Venom: Lethal Protector comic storyline, where Eddie moves there after agreeing with Spider-Man to leave New York. This comic also served as inspiration for the first film. When asked about Venom possibly meeting Spider-Man in the future, Tom Hardy said, "I don't see him in the next Spider-Man movie because I'd have the script, and I don't have that. Will we ever meet Spider-Man? I don't know, but I can't say anything because this is the last movie, and yeah, I'd love that." Even though the trilogy hasn't been set in New York, The Last Dance does end with Eddie in the city, hinting at his past there. Without Venom in his life, Eddie could end up working for the Daily Bugle, where he might run into Peter Parker, most likely Andrew Garfield's version of Spidey, since he mentioned in No Way Home that he's never dealt with an alien before. Given that the Venom films aren't set in the main MCU Universe 616, the multiverse opens the door for anything to happen. One way Eddie could be brought into the MCU is by having him serve as an anchor in his own universe. Even after Venom: The Last Dance, Eddie's in the perfect place to meet a Spider-Man. The film picks up where No Way Home left off, with Eddie briefly appearing in the MCU and learning about Thanos and the Infinity Stones before being sent back to his own universe. While Venom: The Last Dance doesn't tease this directly, the No Way Home mid-credit scene suggests some of the symbiote stayed behind in the MCU timeline, setting up a potential connection to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. Whether this will play a major role in future MCU films or just be a dropped plot point is still up in the air. But one thing's for sure, the symbiote's presence in the MCU means there's still a chance Peter Parker could eventually get the black suit. In the comics, Peter Parker first gets the black symbiote suit during the original Secret Wars storyline, which could still be the case in the MCU. Peter wears the suit for a while before it eventually bonds with Eddie Brock, transforming him into Venom. Spider-Man 3 sticks pretty closely to this story. If the MCU eventually connects Tom Holland's Spider-Man with Eddie Brock's Venom, it could follow a similar arc, but with a twist. Instead of Peter getting the symbiote first, Eddie Brock might encounter it first, based on what we saw in the Venom films. Tom Hardy himself has expressed interest in facing off against Spider-Man, saying, "Tom Holland, without a shadow of a doubt. I'd fight anyone, just anybody. Venom and the Incredible Hulk, let's do it. Him, yeah, 100%. Even though Venom: The Last Dance seems to end with the symbiote's apparent death, the film still hints at a potential future encounter. This could work with Tom Holland's Peter Parker coming into contact with the symbiote before it eventually returns to Eddie Brock. After the symbiote has bonded with Spider-Man, it could give Venom the iconic white spider logo and some of the abilities missing from the Sony trilogy. Eddie and Venom would also have a stronger bond, which could be more impactful than in the comics. It's pretty amazing that Venom is the only comic book villain to get a trilogy, proving how much audiences connect with the character. While the Venom films may not be the most faithful to the comics, especially with Spider-Man's absence, they've got their own charm, largely thanks to Tom Hardy's performance. The movies have still introduced major comic book characters like Carnage and Null to live action. Venom: The Last Dance might wrap up the solo trilogy, but Sony has definitely left the door open for more, especially with Null in play. Even though Venom is no longer with Eddie at the end of The Last Dance, the movie teases a potential showdown with Spider-Man that fans have wanted for years. While this may require some creative explaining, especially with Eddie being in a different universe, the MCU can easily handle that with the multiverse saga. Spider-Man No Way Home, Deadpool, and Wolverine have all shown how characters from different universes can be brought together, and Venom: The Last Dance has already set the stage for that to happen in the future. Tom Holland's recent interview with Rich Roll revealed some exciting news for Spider-Man 4. Holland and Zendaya have both read the script, and while he admits the script still needs work, the fact that it lit a fire in him and prompted enthusiasm from the pair is a promising sign. This enthusiasm suggests that Marvel and Sony are on the right track with the upcoming film. Holland's statement about reading the script alongside Zendaya also gives us an important hint. MJ is almost certainly returning for Spider-Man 4, which seemed uncertain at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. Peter's decision to erase everyone's memories of him, including MJ and Ned, created the possibility that they would be excluded from his life moving forward. However, Zendaya's involvement in the script reading confirms her role, which is great news for fans. Now, when it comes to Spider-Man 4, there's a compelling theory that could tie into the events of Venom: The Last Dance. As the movie ended with the introduction of Null, the terrifying creator of the symbiotes, there's a potential connection to Spider-Man's future. With a fragment of Venom's symbiote still in the MCU Earth-616, the stage could be set for Null to come looking for it, creating a major crossover opportunity between Tom Holland's Spider-Man and Tom Hardy's Venom. Fans have longed for this team-up, and it could serve as the perfect way to wrap up Venom's arc while introducing one of Spider-Man's most formidable foes. The theory also proposes an emotional twist. Imagine if MJ becomes entangled in Null's hunt for the symbiote. The leftover Venom fragment could bond with her, turning her into a version of She-Venom. This would raise the stakes for Peter, as he'd have to not only stop Null, but also save MJ from the symbiote's influence, creating a deeply personal conflict for Spider-Man. However, there are still some questions to address. For example, how would Eddie Brock's Venom return after the events of Venom: The Last Dance, where the symbiote seemed to meet its end? Additionally, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings director Destin Daniel Cretton has been tapped to direct Spider-Man 4, which is now set for release on July 24, 2026. This news adds even more excitement to the upcoming film, as fans anticipate both the return of Holland's Peter Parker and the potential for a new Spider-Man to enter the MCU. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.